down their signal jammers but got overrun. You're not gonna believe this. AIM's got Taskmaster's mercs.
I truly hope you guys are seeing what I'm seeing here. Marvel's of Avengers was a game that came out almost 2 years ago. Let me get a direct date here. It came out in 2020, September 2020. So it's almost coming up on 2 years of being released. And I decided, after reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy and making my video, and there are a lot of people who agreed with me, that I would revisit Marvel's of Avengers. It's a live service game, so I thought maybe, when I went back to it, that, there would be some improvements. It's a live service game. They've had 2 years to patch this game up and give it some nice upgrades to the game, and I'm sure they've done some 60 FPS for the next gen versions and made it look a little bit better and things of that nature. It doesn't seem like they've touched this game. It really is sad, because I remember when I bought the game like close to a year, maybe like 9 to 10 months. It was like on a really deep sale. It was around that time when it was considered officially garbage. You know what I'm saying? It was like everyone officially knew that the game was DOA, dead on arrival. And you could play the game, but the servers were kind of dead a little bit. You had a little bit of people there, but going back to the game has only gone downhill. There aren't really patches that fixed any of the complaints that I had even a year after the game had been released. It's 2 years now after the game has been released, and it's still weird to play, man. I will say this. On next gen consoles and on PC, the game is a tad bit more bearable because you have more control over your frame rate, where on last gen consoles, you don't really have control over your frame rate. I just realized that because I played a little bit on my PC and I enjoyed the experience a lot more than I did, on my PlayStation, which this footage that you're watching now is from the PlayStation 4 Pro. So if it looks a little choppy, that's probably why. I will say the game's clunkiness, it's just the game's clunkiness. You can play that wherever you play and it will still be as clunky as you see it here. Fortunately, the only place you can play is Spider-Man, which is probably, in my opinion, the most clunky character in the roster, is on the PlayStation. And if you don't have a PlayStation 5, you're likely playing on the PlayStation 4. So not only are you playing with a clunky ass Spider-Man that they obviously didn't put a lot of care into, but you're also having to battle with the frame rate and the camera and all types of bullshit. I thought they would give this game a lot more love and care. It seems like all they really did for the past 2 years was deliver on the promised DLC that they said they would deliver, and that's it. They haven't done much in terms of performance. They haven't done much in terms of companion AI. It seems like the companion AI is just as stupid as it was when the game first came out. And that was one of the main complaints for people because, like I said in videos before, a lot of people play by themselves. They play games by themselves. I think that, the small amount of games that do become so popular that every person just owns it, like Destiny or Call of Duty or Fortnite, you know what I'm saying? It's only games that go to that top echelon that you'll probably be able to find a friend and be like, hey, this game is here. You probably heard of it. Get it. It's fun. And you will play it with them. But the games that are no names, there are a lot less people who will find their friends or have friends that will be able to play the game with them. Especially a game that's been largely panned since its release date for being trash. So it's hard for anybody. Who are you going to convince to buy Marvel's Avengers after the dumpster fire of a release that it had? You can't convince anybody to play this game. So you really have to either deal with matchmaking or play by yourself. And playing by yourself, you can tell the companion AI was not built for single player play at all. I tried it again 2 years after launch, and let me say, matchmaking doesn't even fucking exist anymore. You can try to pull for matchmaking, but you're going to be sitting there for almost an hour just seeing people come in and then come out and then come in and come out. You're not going to get a game if you try to matchmake publicly. It's just impossible. I'm just going to say that right off the rip. So you're kind of depending on this companion AI. And in the past 2 years, they've done nothing to help the situation at all. So that part of the game, the single player nature, is still a little fucked up. It's like you just have to deal with it at this point. I don't think that they're going to be making any patches for the companion AI. So it is what it is. And then also when it comes to the enemy AI and you're playing by yourself, again, This is another companion AI issue that people said back when the game launched, but still 2 years later, this is where we're at. It seems like the enemies only attack you. Not only do the enemies only attack you, but the companion AI does not go for objectives. So you're the only person doing the objective, and then you have enemies piling onto you. That's pretty much the gameplay for the Avengers. It's you going around trying to do the objectives that your teammates are ignoring because they weren't programmed to do them. And then also having to deal with the fact that enemy AI is only programmed to attack you and not the companions. The companions might try to join in and be like, oh, get off my guy, but they really don't do much. So the companion AI is retarded and useless. And then on top of that, the enemy AI is just scaled to a completely crazy. I don't even think the difficulty is scaled too bad. It's just you're being piled on the whole time. So it's like, wow, like you could have spread the love there. But I guess there are still bugs and glitches in this game. Very much so. 2 years after launch, which is ridiculous. Like you saw in the first clip here, I'll bring back up on the screen now. Spider-Man was over here, in the ground, and it was just ridiculous. Now, like you seen earlier, I got some good Hulk gameplay, but I still have to deal with the fact that the frame rate is messed up because I'm playing it on last-gen consoles. Again, I could install it on PC, but I doubt that my experience would be too much different other than just having a higher frame rate. It would still be this trash, product in my opinion. I think with Game Pass they do have crossplay. I think that's the only upside. I might be able to get more lobbies playing with both Xbox and PC players, but other than that, there's no real differentiator between next gen and PC outside of the frame rate issues. You're still playing with a pretty janky, unpatched game that launched in 2020 that still hasn't been fixed 2 years later. I think honestly this had more of a chance of grabbing me than a Destiny or a Division or Anthem would have, because I love Marvel video games. I love superhero titles. Not only do I love them, but they also added Spider-Man, and they fucked Spider-Man over. I'm gonna just keep it a full buck. Spider-Man got the worst treatment in this whole package. Like I said this in my Fortnite video, but literally Fortnite did Spider-Man web swinging better than the Avengers did. I bet that they kind of felt dumb when Fortnite came out with their Spider-Man swinging, because it came out at the same time they implemented the Avengers Spider-Man swinging, and it was like it happened at the same time, but Fortnite just came out better, and Fortnite had more of a layout so that there was really no excuses for the Avengers to do it the way they did it. You know what I'm saying? You could look at gameplay right now of how Spider-Man is literally swinging on air. They have an aiming system. They could have literally made it so that if you're in the air, you web swing on trees or whatever. And it would have just made it so much better. It would have made it so much more fun. But no, you're just swinging in the air. You hold R2 and you just swing in the air forward. It's like the worst implementation of traveling across all the heroes in Marvel's Avengers. And I'm a Spider-Man fan, so it hurts my heart. And it's so clunky and janky. Spider-Man is the worst character you could play as. I would rather play as Black Widow or Black Panther or, any hand-to-hand combat specialist before I would play as Spider-Man. My favorite character in Marvel's Avengers is Iron Man and Thor. So I like the flying characters because they have fun transportation. So that's why I was like excited. They could have even... I honestly think that, the Miss Marvel character was a better implementation of Spider-Man swinging than Spider-Man, which is that's so awkward. How do you have Miss Marvel, this Indian flexible Mr. Fantastic fucking ass bitch, do better Spider-Man swinging than actual Spider-Man? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't make sense to me, but whatever, that's what they decided to do. But that's all I got for this video. I just wanted to pile on this game one more good time. 2 years after launch, I tried to give it the benefit of the doubt. That's why I reinstalled the game. I would have even made a video about how, they made some improvements if they would have actually done that, but they haven't. So, this is the video that came out of this. So, Marvel's Avengers is still trash 2 years later after launch. I mean, a year and 11 months after launch. That's to be completely accurate. But I hope you guys are having a nice day and look forward to seeing more content this coming week, I have some more stuff coming. So yeah, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, because who won't like to be notified when I post, you know what I'm saying? And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.